Welcome to the Wesley family. This is our 5th round with all the families. This is only the 2nd round that I have made videos about. And this is Janet and her husband Jackson and their 3 boys that they have right now. We are just having a regular Thursday hanging out at their house. I do realize eventually that the juice fizzer is not seeming to work, so I replace it. And then we do a ton of gardening with Jackson until I realize he's not the one that's actually working on the gardening. It is Janet. And so I then send Janet outside to work on the gardening. We then spend the rest of the day just taking care of babies because that is what we do in this household with these 3 little boys that we have. And Meredith comes over to visit, and I am reminded that she is pregnant and will probably be going into labor soon. The next thing we do is try to potty train our oldest because I need some of these kids that can take care of themselves. We're also still checking the garden all the time just to make sure there's not anything I can go have Janet do that will increase her gardening skill. And Jackson is working on fishing, so I send him out fishing every chance he gets. And now Meredith is in labor, so we head over to her house to have another boy. I go through all the names till I find a T name because everybody in her house already has a T name, and this baby's name is Trey. We are back home in our main house doing more fishing, some tummy time with our infant, and just taking care of the babies in general around here. Our garden the next morning has lots of things that need to be evolved, and so I start working on that, and then I have Janet start working on all the rest of the gardening things. Her gardening skill is getting up there, but we need it to be level 10 so that we can build our first community lot. The rest of the day, just more taking care of babies, more fishing. Friday is pretty much exactly the same thing. Just taking care of babies, doing as much gardening as fishing as they can, and taking care of babies. Did I mention that part? This is when I also realized that there is a problem with our bills. I can't get them to pay it. It says bills are due, but when I click on it, it doesn't actually say bills are due. So I'm not sure what's going on. Then we have our holiday, Llama-palooza, and I focus on it a little bit. I kind of get too busy with the kids, but this is also when I decide the juice machine is never going to work, and so I delete it completely, and I'm thinking about changing one of her goals and not to do juice fizzing. More gardening and taking care of babies constantly. We did get a visit from a random person that showed up at our house and decided to use our grill to start a fire. So we had to deal with that and everything that goes along with that. Then our electricity was turned off because we didn't pay our bills. But again, we cannot pay our bills. So I do not know what is going on with this. I don't know if there's something wrong with mods or if there's something corrupted. I don't know what's happening, but I really need to fix it. More fishing and babies, except this time I actually had Janet go do a little bit of meditating because she just needed a break after everything that is going on. Then I decide that since it's Llama-palooza and they both want to do musical things, why not get us a piano to take the place of the juice fizzing machine? I think still I'm going to focus on cooking for Janet as her skill, but both of them can play the piano just for a little extra fun. I also needed to look for a fire pit that they could do outside as part of Llama-palooza. And then Janet, this whole time, has wanted to have another child. And so she finally convinced both me and Jackson that they should try for a baby. And she got pregnant. That means it's birthday time for everyone. So it was easy to age up the baby because we don't need a cake for that. But then we had a problem when we needed a cake for our infant to age up because we have no electricity. So my original plan was for Janet and the baby to head over to Meredith's house to use her refrigerator and stove and make a cake. And it worked, except I couldn't drag the cake, and she wouldn't put the cake down where we could blow out the candles there, so I took the baby over for no reason, and Janet and the baby had to come back home. We finally have the cake. We put the cake there. We aged up the baby. Things finally started working, or at least I thought they were working. It's almost time to end our time with this family, so I I sent Janet to bed. I sent Jackson out fishing, and I forgot that Janet had lit an incense burner in the kitchen, so we had one more fire before this was over. This is not even the worst news of this whole entire thing. When I exited out of this game, it no longer showed that this family was there, like, period. They are no longer in the game at all anywhere. So, we have the last 5 save files that you can go back and restore those saves. So I did that on every single one of them. And the last time they show up is when we come back after Meredith has the baby. So I will be replaying this family to get them back to where they were before Meredith had the baby. And then, not before, after Meredith had the baby, get them back to where they are right now when I end this one. That is going to do it for our Build-A-World. I'm kind of glad that I don't have to deal with the West family again until Janet goes into labor again. And as long as she wants to have kids, I'm just going to keep letting them have kids. They're going to be our main family that is just having kids. So I did like it that our new little baby that became an infant is blonde and the other 2 have brown hair like dad, but we got a blonde like mom. That's going to do it. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.